welcome to cooking school. Today we're going to make macaroni and cheese, another one of my favorite treats. So we need to wash our hands. I just did that. And then we need to gather all of our supplies. Today we need a pot, our stove. We need a 1/4 cup of milk, which I've already poured in my liquid measuring cup. I need 6 cups of water, which we will get in just a second from the sink. I need a 1/4 cup of butter, so that's half a stick. So if you have a full stick, you just want to cut it in half, and you can count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4 tablespoons. So 4 tablespoons, 1/4 cup. And then I need a box of mac and cheese. The other things I might want are a strainer so that I can, or a colander, so that when my noodles are ready, I can drain them. And then I also need a spoon for stirring. So let's get started, guys. We need 6 cups of water. So I'm going to use my 2-cup measuring cup. I need 6 cups. 2, 4, 6. So if I fill this 3 times, I will have 6 cups. Let's go. So I'm going to go to my sink. I'm going to fill it up to 2 cups. I'm going to pour it in my pan. And now that I have some water in there, I'm going to turn it on, light, and then I'm going to leave it so that the flame is smaller than the pan. And I'm going to add some more water. We have 2 cups. We need 6. So if I add 2 more, 2 plus 2 is 4. I need 2 more cups. Two more cups is 6. 4 plus 2 is 6. There we go, guys. So now we're going to let that sit. We're going to let it boil. All right, guys, guess what? My water is boiling. I have bubbles, and they're at the bottom, and they're coming up the sides. So my water is starting to boil. So now I can add my macaroni and cheese. Now, you want to be careful. There are other kinds of mac and cheese you can get too, and any of them make mac and cheese about the same way, but you want to make sure to read the directions, because some of the other brands and some different types of mac and cheese, like if I get the Kraft with the fun shapes, you need different amounts of milk or butter. So you always want to make sure you read your directions. But for this one, our original Kraft mac and cheese, we need 1/4 cup milk and a 1/4 cup of butter. So now that my water is boiling, I'm going to open up my box of mac and cheese. There's a spot I can put my thumb in. Put my thumb in and pull it back and open up the whole top of the box like this. And then I'm going to take out the cheese packet. And I will set that aside. And then I'm going to take my noodles. I'm going to pour them in my pan of water. Now that the noodles are in there, oop, I missed one. And my water is boiling, I need to cook it for 7 to 8 minutes when I read my directions. So I'm going to set my timer for 7 minutes. I like mine a little al dente, which means I like a little bit of bite to it. I don't like them super mushy. So I'm going to cook mine for 7 minutes. Every so often, I'm going to want to take a minute and stir it, just to make sure that my noodles don't stick to the bottom of the pan, because then I kind of get a big mess too. But I want to make sure that all my noodles cook, and I want to be really careful so that I don't make a mess on my stove. So I'm going to kind of watch my pan. I'm not going to leave my kitchen when I'm cooking, because I don't want to start a fire or be dangerous. So I'm going to watch my pan, and I'm going to let my timer go, and we'll see you back in a minute. My noodles have been cooking for a couple minutes, and every so often, remember, I wanted to stir them. So I'm just going to give them another little stir. Make sure that none of them are sticking to the bottom of my pan. And we'll let them continue to cook. 5 minutes left, and a couple more minutes, so I'm going to give them another stir. They are really boiling. And I want to be careful because if it gets too hot or if it boils too much, I don't want it to go over my pan, so I might have to turn my oven down or my stovetop down just a little bit. And that's okay. We just want to make sure that it continues to boil. And we'll let it finish up. We'll wait till the beeper goes. All right, guys. So my noodles are still boiling. My timer is down to about 45 seconds. I'm going to give it another quick little stir. Make sure we're all set. And then I'm going to get ready. And you know what? I can see my noodles are pretty well cooked. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to take my colander and I'm going to place it in the sink because we need to drain the water out. So I'm going to put the colander in the sink and be all ready. And then when our timer goes, we will empty and drain the water out in the colander, and then we'll put the noodles back in the pan. Make sure we mix our sauce down to the bottom, and then we've got all of our ingredients ready to go when we're ready. There's our timer. So we're going to turn off the stove. Take our pan. Careful, it's hot. And we're going to dump it in our colander. My pan is empty. I'm going to put that back on the stove. I'm going to put it on a different burner so that my pan can be a little cool. I'm going to make sure all the water's out of my noodles. Then I'm going to take these and I'm going to return them back to my pan. Then I'm going to add my butter and let that melt in there. Pepper goes in the garbage. We'll stir that butter and let it melt. My mac and cheese noodles in there. And there's my butter melting. Once my butter is almost completely melted, keep all my noodles down there so they all get a little bit of melted butter on them. Then I can add my milk. Okay, so I have my 1/4 cup of butter in there, melted with my noodles. I'm going to take my 1/4 cup of milk. Add that in. Give it a little stir. Mix that up. And then I'm going to take my cheese sauce. We'll rip the top off of that. Open up my packet so I can see it. And then we'll put that in, tap it out so that it all comes out. My wrapper can go in the garbage. And then we'll give it a little stir. And then we go from those plain noodles and we mix that in. And we will have mac and cheese. I don't like chunks of that cheese powder, so I just make sure I get it all stirred up really good. And then I can decide if I want to eat it on a plate or a bowl. I like mine in a bowl. So I'm going to pull out my bowl, and I use a fork to eat it. You can use a spoon, however you want to eat it. And then I'm going to take my mac and cheese and dish it in. I can share my mac and cheese with a friend or another person in my family. Thanks for making mac and cheese with me today, guys. Have a good one.